Today's story, the Zombie Terror Day. It was an ordinary day, a day like any other. The sun was rising, illuminating the city streets, and people went about their daily lives, never imagining that in a few hours everything would change forever. The kind of day when you wake up, drink your coffee, and head to work without thinking much about what the future holds. But sometimes the future arrives faster than we expect, and when it does, there is no turning back. Somewhere, far from the public eye, a mistake was made. A small oversight, a seemingly insignificant glitch. It all started with a virus. No one knows for sure how it came about. Some say it was an accident in a laboratory, others that it was an experiment gone wrong. But one thing was certain, it spread fast, very fast. But like a stone thrown into a lake, the ripples of this mistake would spread throughout the city. And in a matter of hours, the world as we knew it would cease to exist. The symptoms started out mild, a headache here, a fever there. But it soon became clear that something was very wrong. People began to act strangely, their eyes glazed over, their movements uncoordinated. And then, the hunger came. The infected didn't die. They changed. Their skin turned pale, their eyes glazed over, and they hungered insatiably. Hunger for human flesh. They weren't human anymore. They were zombies. They weren't human anymore. They were something different, something terrible. And they were everywhere. In the streets, in the buildings, in the cars. Everywhere you looked, there were more of them. And they wouldn't stop. They never stopped. In a matter of hours, the city had turned into hell. In a matter of minutes, the city had turned into a nightmare. The sirens of ambulances and police cars wailed, but there was no one to answer the calls. Who could help when everyone was fighting to survive? The streets, once full of life, were now overrun by hordes of zombies. They attacked without mercy, turning anyone they encountered into one of them. But not everyone was taken by surprise. Some managed to hide and protect themselves. They knew that in order to survive, they had to fight. And fighting meant making difficult choices. Some saw what was happening and acted quickly, but they knew they couldn't stay there forever. Hunger, thirst, and the zombies would eventually find them. Anne knew she might never see her family again, but she also knew that in order to have any chance of finding them again, she had to survive. And survival meant killing. Killing those who had once been like her. She looked at her son and promised herself that she would do everything to protect him. But deep down, he knew his world would never be the same again. The innocence of childhood had been stolen, replaced by the sound of the undead moans outside. They fought, not because they wanted to, but because they had no choice. Every blow, every shot was a desperate attempt to delay the inevitable. But in a world where the dead walk, the inevitable is always lurking. And so the zombies' day of terror continued. Hour after hour, minute after minute. Every second was a fight for life. Every breath, a victory. As the sun set, they knew that night would bring new horrors, but they also knew that as long as they were alive, there was hope. Hope of finding other survivors. Hope of rebuilding. Hope of starting over. The zombies' day of terror was just the beginning. No one knows how long this fight will last, but one thing is certain. As long as there is life, there is hope. And where there is hope, there is a chance to start over. What about you? What would you do to survive? If you like the story, like it, comment, and subscribe to the channel.